Welcome back, Wolfpack Nation, for part 2 of the cheese queen herself, Miss Abby Lampe. We're gonna just dive into. I don't know. Do we want to go head first or feet first? What's your strategy, Abby?
For the cheese, head first.
Okay, there you
Head
go.
first. All right, we're going in head first for her tale of cheese. So let's talk about how you came about to knowing this, and I know that you saw YouTube videos and like it kind of just sounds like you're a daredevil of sorts, and so you saw these YouTube videos. Did you just openly search for them? Did it get suggested to you? Like, how does one find cheese racing?
I honestly don't know. I think it got suggested to me on YouTube. I go down very rabbit
Crazy.
holes of just going. If I'm on YouTube, I don't go on YouTube that often, but when I do, but yeah, I saw it, and this was years ago. But this year, I saw something, or my friends said something to me in March, and that's when I knew I wanted to really participate because I looked up the timeline, and the cheese race was going to be the same time I was going to be in Europe, and I said, why not?
Yeah, so this cheese race that she's referring to, so if anyone doesn't know, it's the Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake in Gloucester, England.
Gosh, that sounds so fun.
It's I don't know what the wake portion means. Maybe it's a nod to Wake County. Right. I don't know. Maybe. But so there's a lot of legend behind this this event. There's rumors that it's been around for 600 years and it started as a pagan ritual, and that it was at one point maybe a barrel rolling contest to see who the finest barrel maker was. So no one really knows, but it dates back to 1826. So it's been around a while. And you did something very unique. And maybe people don't know, but you this is we don't have the record of it, but by all accounts, you're the first female ever from America to win this.
Yeah.
Have you been able to confirm this?
Says.
Well,
yeah. I mean, if it's on Wikipedia, it's true, right?
Yeah, it's always true if it's on Wikipedia.
Definitely. That's what passed me through state.
Yeah, exactly. But you talked about you did actually. So people will find this interesting that you actually trained for this, and what I find unique is, one, that you'd want to do it, and two, that you would be incredibly crazy to train for it, not just not even look at it and go, you know what, I can do that and just roll with it, literally. But you were at Dorothea Dix Park, from what I understand, and you had some friends there. Did anyone not associated with you see this? Like look at you like, what is that lady doing? And what is going on?
We went to a pretty a spot in Dorothea Dix where there weren't many people there, to save my boss some embarrassment because she was gonna roll down the hill with me and she didn't want a ton of people looking at her. So we went to this secluded area. There were some hills, very not steep at all. And I did prepare a little bit. I rolled down it a few times, maybe once or twice, but I wouldn't say I trained very hard, physically for it. I mean, there's no way to actually prepare for this. You just go. But I did do, I did do my research because, as any good industrial engineer does, they do their research.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I would have thought maybe just learning stop, drop, and roll from the fire days. Maybe that would have been the most training that I would have figured out.
When I was watching the video, I watched it multiple times because, I mean, some people were putting Jim Valvano's quote over you, the NC State fight song over you. So I watched it a lot.
Whoa, and it was I didn't see those.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But it was funny because everybody was literally, for the first 20 feet, sliding. And Abby made her eyes on the cheese, and she was like, screw sitting, I'm jumping. And she started sprinting towards it. And I was like, you're the only person whose mindset was get up and run.
Yeah.
For the first 50 feet. And then you were just like, you know what, whatever, I'm going head first.
Yeah, there's a picture of me mid sprint, and then probably half a second later I'm eating it. But for that picture, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely had the mindset of just go after the cheese. I was crouching when the cheese was about to get released because I knew that I wasn't gonna slide. I wasn't
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be a weenie. I was going to go after that cheese, and I was gonna do it 100%.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So the crazy thing. So I did a little research before we got into this, and there's a guy, Chris Anderson. Did you meet him by chance at all while you were there?
Yeah, so I met him.
Okay.
He was on the top of the hill. He's from Brockworth, which is where
Yep.
the cheese rolling takes place. He does a lot for it. He carried some cheese up for the competition to get rolled, and this is a steep hill, so carrying it up and going up and down multiple times, I got to hand it to him. I only got up once and or twice actually, but I would not want to go back and forth up and down. But he set the flour out for the lines of the race, so they like sprinkled some flour to kind of show where the line starts and ends. But yeah, he was at the top of the hill. I asked for a picture because I had seen the docu series that Netflix made just the day
We are
before.
the champions.
Yeah,
Yep.
the night before We
Yep.
Are the Champions. I hadn't seen it
Yep.
before then, but someone told me to watch it before the race, and I said, okay, I'll do that. So I got a picture with him. He's a 23 cheese rolling champion.
Wow.
And then the next day,
24. Don't cheat him.
no,
24.
he was a 22, and
Oh, you're right. Yep. You're right. Yep. I got
Oh.
you. I see where you're going with this.
yeah, he was a 22 and then won, so 23.
Yep.
The next
Yep.
day after I won, after I finished the long ordeal of shipping that cheese,
Yeah.
which took 4 hours. I got a message on Facebook, and this was from Chris Anderson himself. He had
Wow.
sent a message to congratulate me for winning, and he said absolute nutter, and then he put a link to the Aussie Man reviews, which if you don't know, it's the Australian guy commentating the
Yeah.
cheese
It
race.
is so funny.
It's so funny.
It is so funny. It's so funny if people haven't seen it. It's got a little language. It's a little salty,
Yeah.
but
Little
it is
salty.
He took
one of
pride.
the funniest things.
He took pride in both berating Americans and
Yes.
the Brits.
Yes.
So was that
Yes.
your favorite, like, congratulation you got? Because I saw that Roy Cooper messaged you. You're
Yeah.
going on a freaking walking out with
Right.
the team at a football game. I'm extremely jealous of that, if I'm being completely honest. But what was
Yeah.
your like favorite like response that you got from somebody?
Wow. So people had messaged me on Instagram too and put stuff on their stories, like Olympic medalists, like gold medalists, put this on their
That's
story,
awesome.
which is absolutely insane because another one of my dreams is to go to the Olympics, and I have a plan to do that. But so I don't know who, like Chris Anderson, well known in the cheese rolling community. I don't even know if there's a
Yeah.
really big cheese rolling community, but
There is now.
and so that was amazing. Flo Early was there. She congratulated me. She was a 4-time cheese rolling champion in the
Yep.
most. Both Chris Anderson and Flo Early, they have won the most times out of anyone doing that competition. So it was a great honor to be congratulated by them. But I think Roy Cooper and the Senate floor, that floored me honestly. I was just taken aback. I couldn't imagine like why they would do that, but I'm so honored.
Right?
So I guess all of those combined.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't choose one.
No,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Like I had my little 15 minutes. I say 17 minutes, but of fame when I broke my leg. You're gonna be
That's-
approaching
yeah.
30 minutes of
Getting
fame
up
here.
there.
So like that's pretty
And
awesome.
I'm jealous of
to
both of
get
you
shouted
because
out.
every time I try to get fame, it's like I flew to San Diego for the game and it got canceled. So I'm like, all right, so no fame is ever going to come for me. It's fine. But, yeah.
So you mentioned that Aussie Man video, and at the bottom you see rugby players. Can and they were pounding some guys.
Yeah.
Like are they just supposed to be
Catch
there
people?
to
Yeah.
to slow people down from like
So there's
yeah?
a-
Like what are they there for?
So there's a metal fence that encases the whole hill. So it protects the spectators, it protects the cheese, and protects the people that are participating. So when you roll down the hill, you're rolling at a very high speed. You can't be stopped unless you actually fall and roll down. But they're there to stop you, and they have to stop some big people. There was a 6'9" dude who participated in the first race and competed, and I think they got him. But they kind of take joy in that. Everyone says from Gloucester, from what I've heard, they're like they would do this every day if people were dumb enough to go down that hill. That's what someone said on Sunday. But they do it for free. They have fun doing it.
It's like practice.
Really. Exactly.
Yeah. So for folks that don't know, you just referenced it in one of the races. So they actually run 5 races during this competition. 4 of them are for men and 1 are for women. Now, can the women compete with the men, or are you only allowed to compete with women?
Only with women. So actually, there's 4 races. So there's
4 races.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. There's 2 downhill races before the women's race, and then there's 1 after, which is the bigger race, and there are typically more injuries in the last race for the men. And then they have some uphill races too. So they have a under 12 kids race between the 2, and then they have a 12 to, I guess, youth, like 12 to 17 maybe, children's uphill race, and then they have a mixed adult cheese race after the women's race. And I kind of wanted to participate in that, but I was really winded, so I didn't.
I was gonna say 1 trip down.
and you had all limbs that were working,
how
that was more important.
Yeah.
Also, did you see me?
How did you walk away from that with no serious injuries? It just doesn't really make sense.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I have no idea. I think by the grace of God, God like looked after me. I did end up. I was praying right before the race. I was like, Lord, I really don't want any injuries, and I really want to win. So if we could make that happen, that'd be great.
That'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flightland's Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flightland's Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flightland's Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flightlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
Sounded like you did it right. So, so we're talking about injuries here. Like, what was the worst injury you saw? Because during that documentary that I saw, they said, like, the one lady said, like, she saw someone's foot that was actually reversed.
Yeah.
Like, so in this instance, like, what was the worst you saw out there?
Okay, so I heard that someone broke their leg. Actually, I think it was the last race.
Hey,
It wasn't me this time.
No, it wasn't you.
how does that feel?
Wow, a broken leg. Yeah, that's not fun.
No. But
I mean,
actually,
speaking from experience,
I think because of the rain, the ground's softer when it rains, so there weren't as many injuries as there are typically, which that was a blessing because I did not want to endure any serious injuries.
And for your vacation, oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine like having to cut your vacation short.
Yeah, my dad was sure to remind me about that multiple times.
Well, that too, I'm sure you're on his insurance plan, so he wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm on his health insurance plan. But the funny thing is, after I won, they interviewed me. One of the last questions was, "Did you tell your travel insurance about this?" So I don't have travel insurance. So I said, "No, I don't have travel insurance."
Yeah.
Glad it worked out. So just a couple more things here. So they roll this cheese down, and it's a double Gloucester cheese wheel. It's between 7 and 9 pounds. And during that documentary, they said it could get up to 70, 80 miles an hour down the hill. Mm-hmm. So we kind of talked about this on our live stream the other night. Like that explains why the fence is around there. So not only to protect the participants, but the spectators as well. Mm-hmm. And when you how are you the winner? Do you just cross the finish line first, or do you, like, once you cross the finish line, you grab the cheese?
To grab
like
the
what?
Cheese. The cheese is brought to you.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be. Okay, and then I guess the I got 2 questions, and then anyone else has questions, they can jump in. So you shipped it home, and I heard you're going to have a party.
Yeah.
Have you ever tasted that type of cheese before? Like, do you even know what you're getting into when you go eat this cheese? Because it might be the most disgusting thing you've ever ate, and then people are going to be very disappointed.
The plan is, I haven't tasted this cheese before. Okay. I've heard mixed reviews about this cheese, so we will see. But I think that any good cheese eating is paired with a charcuterie board.
Of course.
There you go.
So, like, anything can be made good with a
Just
charcuterie.
drown it out.
Yeah, get some jellies, some bread, crackers, some
There
little
you go.
petite
Some
pickles.
fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. There
and
you
fruit,
go.
of course.
So fruit, you got to make it healthy. Fruit. I mean, you
Right.
need some fruit in there. So how big's your party going to be? Like how many people you? I mean, you got 9 pounds of 8
I
to 9
know.
pounds of cheese to
Yeah.
eat. So like that's going to take a good number of people.
Originally, it was just going to be my friends and family unveiling the
Mhm.
cheese, but now we're going to try to organize something with NC State to make it an NC State event where
I'll
people
say
in North
less.
Carolina and people who go to NC State who went who are just NC State fans like yourself can go try the cheese. It's 8 pounds, so like we are definitely
Yeah.
not going to finish that. But if we include
Yeah.
the state of North Carolina, we might have a
There you
chance.
go.
Very cool. Any plans to like obviously you once you eat it, it's gone. Are you going to make a
Yeah.
replica cheese wheel so you can display it on your mantle or at home?
So the
Like
cheese is
any plans for
encased
something like that? Mhm.
with tape from the
Yep.
retirement home at Gloucester. They wrap the cheese with a lot of tape. I think I'll just keep the tape in the ribbon.
Okay.
That's something.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
that's
stuff it
true.
with something. That does basically like what taxidermy does, with hunters. I mean, you could probably come up with
Cheese.
something. You're an engineer. That you should be able to
Yeah.
figure that
I
you
could
can.
3D
You should be able to
print it.
engineer this.
No,
Yes.
Think and do.
Yeah.
There you go. 3D print it. There you go. Just maybe save the ribbon and recreate that.
Yeah.
All right. My last question, and then if anyone else has any questions, are you going back to repeat?
Ooh,
You going to defend the
it
title?
depends on whether my job that I'm starting work in October, so it depends on whether or not I can with my job.
I mean, you can always call out sick,
Right?
right? I mean,
For
you
like
get sick
5
time.
days.
I mean, if you got hurt, that might be a little different. But
It's like, how did you get hurt and sick?
Don't worry about it.
Tell them you're a world
I fell out of
You know,
bed.
I was trying to make some chicken noodle soup and
Yeah,
I fell.
yeah.
microwave blew up.
All right. Anyone else got
Yeah,
any
I
questions
mean,
for
what-
Miss Abby?
I want to say, ooh, microwave.
What was it like afterwards? I mean, after you won and like did you go out that night or like what was that like, the party?
Yeah, I did. I went to a pub. So I
You
went to a
should.
pub alone, and I went to it in Gloucester, England. So I found it by mistake. I stumbled in. They were like playing live music, so I was like, "Ooh, let me check this out," because I love music. And I wandered in. I had my cheese in my backpack. So I was strapped. And I was talking to some people. They were asking me why I was here. I was like, "Yeah, for the cheese race." And they were like, "Oh, did you win?" I think some conversation happened asking me if I won. I was like, "Yeah, I have the cheese. Do you want to see it?" So I whip it out, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And then the owner, or maybe one of the workers who was singing, then he gets on the mic and says, announces it to the whole pub. He goes, "We have a cheese champion in the house." And then he was like, "A drink on
Wow.
us." So I got a drink. And then people kept coming up and taking pictures with me and buying me drinks. So I got like 6 drinks bought
Ooh.
for me. And then I also got, because this bar or this pub, it was kind of like a come as you are. You can sing or play any instrument. They have it like
Yeah.
open for anyone to just play as they will. So I actually sang Wagon Wheel.
Hey, that's a good one.
Nice.
That's
What a
good one.
woman.
You should have said like wagon of cheese.
Cheese wheel.
Like maybe like
Cheese
change
wheel.
the lyrics.
Yeah.
But cheese wheel. Yeah, cheese wheel. That's even better. That's even better. That's awesome.
I want to say on behalf of all Wolfpack Nation, because we're superstitious, as you are, Wolfpack fan. I truly believe you just ended the curse.
I hope so.
I
Fingers
truly
crossed.
believe it. Because now I'm like, after seeing that, I was like, oh, we're definitely
Yeah.
winning a natty in football this
Sure.
year. As soon as I watched your video, I was like, she ended everything. So on behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you for finally being able to do that for us.
It's because the NCAA was not involved.
There you
Right?
go.
Keep them away.
Right.
If they
Right.
try to do an interview
That's
with you,
right.
say
No, thanks.
no.
Yeah, someone asked
No.
me if I've heard from them. I said they've been real quiet since
They don't
I've
have
been
any.
on.
They don't
As
have any
they should be.
jurisdiction
Yeah.
over there in
As they
England.
should be. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to officially invite you to one of my tailgates this year,
Ooh.
and we can definitely exchange information. I promise I'll keep cheese at a minimum on the menu. We throw really big spreads.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll be cheesed out by then. But if anyone wants to follow you on any of your social media platforms and just kind of wants to tag along in your adventures as you travel through Europe, where can they find you at?
My Instagram is at Abby_Lampe. The Twitter is the same, and I haven't released this to anyone. But my TikTok.
Hold on, we have an exclusive. We have a Tuffy Talk exclusive. Please
He's
share.
going all. I know the TikTok's.
Let me just make sure I get it right.
Look, she's going right now to delete some. Watch it.
It's saucy silly tomato.
You gotta change.
It should be cheese.
Now.
Should be like saucy cheese or something.
Edit the name.
It's mostly for my TikTok is just for fun. It's mostly a joke.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll give you all the exclusive.
All right.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Well, Abby, we can't thank you enough, and in your whirlwind of interviews that you chose to take a few minutes with us, and that really means a lot to us, and our fans will enjoy seeing this come out here in the next couple of days. So we wish you the best on the rest of your adventures through Europe. Definitely keep us posted on all your excitement, and then hopefully we'll see you during football season.
Thank
all right?
you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, Wolfpack Nation. There it is, Miss Abby Lampe. Please go out and give us some thumbs up on this video. If you haven't like and subscribe to our channel, please do that. And we'll see you in the next episode. All right, let's do a big Wolfpack. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go Pack.
Okay.